We have a question for you. The age-old question, in fact. Have you ever wanted to use your phone, but not use your actual phone? You know, picture you wanting to touch and interact with your phone without touching and interacting with your phone. Well, if that was ever a question that needed answering, Dasung has you covered. And yes, we're actually being serious. Indeed, Dasung has invented a device that allows you to use your phone without touching it. Well, not without a rigorous setup process. Introducing the Dasung Link, the world's first cell phone annex. This is not only one of the strangest e-paper devices we've ever seen, but it is indeed one of the strangest consumer electronics we've ever seen, and a perplexing answer to the question nobody really asked. Today we're going to dive into setting this thing up, what it's all about, how to use it, as well as what is it for. We hope this video is not too long, but it does warrant a fairly long time duration because this is a very complicated unit. So first on the left you have the Dasung unit itself, and this is the wireless edition. It is very lightweight and it actually has a hump here, but it is not a battery. In fact, there are no batteries in this. You must use the wireless case. So that's kind of how this all works. This is the case with the 5000 milliamp battery that you need to plug into here. This is the wireless edition. If it was the wired edition, you can actually plug a cable into it in order to use it, which you still can do. There are two USB ports on the bottom. This one is for the case peripheral, and this one is for plugging in a cable, which you can do as is, and you can use it as a monitor. This is the case that has another USB-C and another USB-C. So everything is cut out for you, so all you would do is just slide this in like this. You cannot use it without this case or a cable. So the top is silicone gel, so it'll move around, and the bottom is very sturdy. You do have a battery indicator at the back with a button. Okay, so now that you've built it, how do we set it up? It says waiting for connect, and the only thing you can do at this point is click this to change the glow light, and you can change the speeds here, but it doesn't really do anything until you actually connect it to your unit. Something we must mention, it doesn't work with the latest version of Android 13, so we actually cannot use our own cell phone to set it up, so we have to use my older cell phone, which I believe is Android 11. Bear with us and stick with us here, guys, because it's a lot to cover before we even get into this. First thing you got to do is you got to make sure it has batteries and it's on. All right, next thing, you go over to your phone. Now you're going to have a few things you need to do here. First, you're going to search for projection screen. If you don't have that, which I don't, you have to go to cast. Then you go to cast, not cast options. Once you do cast, it's going to see the link. So you would click on that, it's going to say connecting. Now it's going to say connected. So you see we are connected with that, but it's not enough to just do that because we actually can't touch the screen yet. So as we move it around, you will see I'm able to interact with my phone, but not the actual unit. And this is the half of the battle, is that this is supposed to be a touch supported panel so that you can interact with your phone and use it as your phone as an extension. And actually it's bigger than my phone. So the next thing you have to do is download the Dasung Link app. From here, you can change the warm lighting, and you can change the speed, and you can change the intensity and stuff like that by doing that, or you can click it on, and for the most part it should work. Right now it's not because we have to link it via here. So we have to click that, wait for the link to show up, click the link, and now we should be able to control the warm light. There we go. So the warm light, or the glow light I should say. The warm light, the glow light is on. You can choose the modes, graphic, video, text. You can also choose the modes from the side of the unit here. So that one's connected, but we still can't interact with it. So now what we have to do is go over to our Bluetooth, long press that, and it does say you're currently connected to Dasung Link Touch. Now you don't want to connect it to Dasung Link. You want to connect it to Dasung Link Touch. When you do that, you should be able to touch the unit at this point. And it doesn't look like it actually, but there was a 15-day gap between the last shot and this one. After 3 meetings, including countless hours spent with Dasung and a Zoom call, we finally connected
this unit together. And the reason we're no longer using our Zenfone by Asus is because it doesn't work with that. There is a lengthy list of things that the Link doesn't work with. Older iPhones below 10 and newer Android devices above 13, actually 13 and above. So I can't even use my phone that's already a year old. I can't even actually use it on the Link. There's very few devices that it actually works with, and one of the few ones we had around out of everyone who we tried, iPhone, Samsung, and LG, and Sony, this was the only one, and it's EINK. This is a Hisense Touch, but it does connect with the Link. So let's proceed now, shall we? We know you guys have been waiting for this. This is the unit, and as you can see, I can move both on here or on here. So that's the entire purpose. Now, they don't have an actual rating on how far apart these can be. We asked Dasung directly, and they said they don't have a range number for us, so we don't know if it's 1 meter or 10 meters, but we have tried so much as having this in our pocket and this out in the field. Now, we were struggling to kind of find use cases for this unit, and there are a couple. So for example, if you're traveling, you can have this phone in your pocket. I'll just put it over here, so pretend that's in my pocket. I can now use my phone, but I'm not actually touching my phone. I'm touching the Dasung Link. It's not linked with wires or anything. It's completely wireless, but I'm accessing my Hisense. You can see right here, I have the ability, aside from the EINK button, which is located on the device body, I have access to my device. I can use the glow light. I can change the glow light. I can change speed modes, because this is all attributed to the Dasung's incredibly fast refresh rate. And remember, Dasung has the fastest refresh rate in the game, and so does Hisense. Hisense is pretty darn good too. So you don't have to worry about refreshes on this unit. But I can access this in its entirety. As long as that phone is nearby, I can use it without using it. What's the benefit of this? Well, if I'm traveling, say this is my actual phone with all my data on it, someone comes by, I'm in a kind of less than safe area, someone steals my Dasung, well, the second they run away, I still have my phone. I can disconnect it, and maybe they're too far away that it gets disconnected automatically. Now you might be saying, well, now they've stolen your several $100s worth of Dasung and wireless case, and you're entirely right. You're not really adding to any sort of safety other than basically creating a decoy for someone to take. Now, alternatively, you could pass this around the office. So say you don't want someone actually handling your phone, but you're at your conference table. Well, you can hand this over to there, and Johnny and Sarah and Sandy and Marie can all utilize this and say, oh yeah, I see what you're driving at. Now, while you're in the vicinity, they still have access to your entire phone, all of your apps, all of your settings, all of your file managers. So you have to know that you're not exactly screencasting, you're giving them full access and reverse touch even, which basically means if I touch this, that moves. If I touch this, that moves. If I touch this, that moves. So it's not like you can let people in the boardroom see your phone and you're playing Angry Birds, because anything you do on your phone is going to directly affect the Dasung. So again, that is another kind of problem, is that you're allocating more money to buy this for no real additional use, because anything you're going to kind of justify by buying this, theft, diversion, people utilizing this without touching my actual unit, they're still using it, and it's yours, and if it gets stolen, it's still your hundreds of dollars. So in terms of use cases, there really aren't any viable ones. Now you might be wondering what this is as well, and Dasung, as per all of our meetings, we've had many, that's not a speaker. These little perforated holes is a heatsink. So there's a heatsink underneath, and it gets released from the holes in the Dasung logo, which is a very cool, useful design, both aesthetically pleasing and completely useful. It has audio as well, with 2 speakers. They have confirmed that both of them are functional speakers. Now, if you take this out of the wireless case, it is no longer going to be able to be used. So you have to have it connected with either a power source or a cable connecting the two and a power source.
What an
this is a Suzuki Alto LePon. Yes, it is a... You know what's interesting about the video experience is that we know we're using an EINK device, and Hisense does inherently have a very fast refresh, but this is faster than the source material in this particular circumstance. That's very interesting. This on video mode, fast plus 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 plus, is actually quicker than the fastest speed mode here, which is just speed. Video playback is totally fine, and the audio does come out of here and not out of here now that it is connected via Bluetooth. It is now connected via a media output, so this is going to take the grunt of the audio, and that will not. Aside from the usability, this is built gorgeously. It is very hefty, feels like a lot of materials went into this. It's made out of aluminum. It has high quality materials. Everything is completely formatted well. Nothing is clipped. You have these beautifully little beveled edges around the inside screen where it meets the bezel. The case is gorgeous. You have multiple buttons to change speed modes, graphic modes, video modes, and so forth. There's a lot of actual really nice experiences when holding this in your hand. You can utilize your phone to the fullest while not even touching your phone, and it's all linked wirelessly, albeit it does take a very long time and 3 multiple steps in order to finally link this to this unit, and you have to have Bluetooth on and cast on the entire time. But it's a very interesting concept with a very interesting execution. Does anybody really need this? Who asked for this? And above all else, who okayed the project? I'm not saying this device is completely useless, because as you've seen in this video, it's not. In fact, we have discovered a few use cases for it, but it just seems a tad excessive. Because phones being inherently important to us in just about every facet, I'm not sure if anyone has ever asked to extend it to a point that just seems a little bit redundant. However, to sum it up, it is interesting the way it is laid out with its peripheral case, it being a peripheral already, and it comes in multiple setups from iPhone versions, wireless versions, and even a wired version. If you want to grab one of these, you can grab it in our store. Thanks for watching.